Memory is not a filing cabinet, nor is it a flawless archive of past events. It is a constantly shifting, self-editing process, more akin to an over-enthusiastic intern who insists on rewriting history based on the latest office gossip. In both human cognition and artificial intelligence, memory is shaped through patterns, reinforcement, and occasionally sheer stubbornness. Deep learning offers a fascinating parallel neural networks, process information, refine their responses and adjust over time, just as humans do, though perhaps with fewer existential crises. At its core, memory operates in layers, encoding, storage, and retrieval. Much like an artificial neural network, it filters vast amounts of information, prioritizing what matters and discarding the rest, or at least it tries to. Just as a neural network assigns different weights to data points based on importance, human memory highlights certain experiences while relegating others to the mental equivalent of a dusty attic. Deep learning systems improve through backpropagation, a process where errors are identified and adjustments are made. Humans attempt something similar. When a mistake is made, the brain revises its internal model of the world. Ideally, this leads to better decisions, though in reality it often results in lying awake at 3 a.m. replaying that one embarrassing conversation from 3 years ago. At the heart of both deep learning and human memory lie feedback loops, which reinforce certain behaviors while discouraging others. These loops dictate whether we grow, stagnate, or double down on a terrible idea out of sheer principle. There are two main types of feedback loops. Positive feedback loops amplify behaviors. Repeated success in a task builds confidence, much like an AI model refining its predictions. However, unchecked, these loops can lead to overconfidence, or worse, confirmation bias, where a person only remembers the evidence that supports their existing beliefs. This is how people end up insisting they're always right, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Negative feedback loops act as course correctors. They signal when something isn't working and prompt adjustments. If touching a hot stove results in pain, the brain registers this as a poor life choice and remembers to avoid it. In theory, this prevents repeated mistakes. In practice, humans are not always great at recognizing patterns, hence why some people continue texting exes despite mountains of past data suggesting it's a bad idea. The danger of maladaptive feedback loops is that they reinforce unhelpful narratives. If a neural network overfits a particular data set, it becomes biased and ineffective. Similarly, if a person fixates on past failures, they may start avoiding risks entirely, mistaking temporary setbacks for permanent limitations. One of the most intriguing lessons from deep learning is that errors are not failures, they are data. A neural network does not despair when it gets something wrong. It simply adjusts its parameters and tries again. Humans, on the other hand, have a tendency to take mistakes personally, often assigning them far more weight than they deserve. Memory is not a passive record, but an active editor, constantly reshuffling experiences based on significance, repetition, and emotional impact. The brain, much like an AI model, can be trained to optimize learning by refining how it processes and recalls information. Techniques like spaced repetition, often used in language learning, mimic the reinforcement cycles of deep learning, strengthening retention through consistent exposure. Similarly, cognitive reframing functions like an AI algorithm, recalibrating its priorities. If a neural network can learn to filter out irrelevant data, So too can humans learn to disregard unhelpful memories, especially those that serve no purpose other than fueling unnecessary self-doubt. Understanding how memory and feedback loops work can help refine thinking, decision-making, and emotional resilience. Some key applications include education and learning. Spaced repetition and strategic reinforcement can enhance retention. Treat learning as a structured feedback system, adjusting study methods based on what works. Emotional resilience. Memory is malleable. Reframing negative experiences and reassigning their emotional weight can lessen their impact over time. Better decision-making. Recognizing cognitive biases such as loss aversion or selective memory can help refine judgment and prevent overly emotional decision-making. In many ways, neural networks have an advantage over humans. They do not dwell on mistakes or question their own self-worth. They simply adjust and improve. While humans are unlikely to achieve such cold efficiency, adopting a more data-driven mindset where setbacks are treated as learning opportunities rather than personal failures can lead to more effective thinking. Conclusion: becoming the architect of your own memory. Deep learning, feedback loops, and human memory all share a reliance on structured adaptation. Whether through artificial intelligence or personal experience, learning is a continuous process of input, assessment, and refinement. Just as a neural network improves its predictions over time, individuals can reshape their perspectives by understanding how memory functions. A well-calibrated feedback loop, one that reinforces growth while preventing unhelpful patterns, ensures both technological and personal progress. Rather than being passive recipients of memory, we can become active participants in shaping our own cognitive evolution. After all, the brain is just another learning model. It's just been running updates a little longer than the